You're welcome. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Elizabeth and Joanie once again talking about writing. As promised, we are going to come to you every Friday to talk about our collaboration to show you what it's like. Whoops. Let's have an echo here. Yes, YouTube. Thank you. So we are going to talk to you about how to write a book. Joanie got coached to write her best-selling Nun Better, an amazing love story with me, Elizabeth Ann Atkins of Two Sisters Writing and Publishing. We started about a year ago. Joanie wrote the book between
A
July.
year ago tomorrow.
All right.
Ooh, happy anniversary.
Yes, happy anniversary, Joanie. So she came to me with just an idea, had never written a book. She's a retired gym teacher and former Catholic nun. She had this amazing story, remarkable love story, LGBTQ, phenomenal, inspiring, and she didn't know how to write the book. So thanks to Daniel Perry Walkup, her godson, who referred her to us, I coached her. She wrote an amazing book. She followed all my guidance to make you, the reader, feel like you're in the stories. And there's such great stories. And then I edited the book and we published it in March. And she's been traveling up and down the Oregon coast, the California coast with book signings and many more to come. And she has been going to Pride events and speaking at libraries and churches and all kinds of places. And it's amazing. So we are now collaborating on 2 more books that are really powerful for you and the world. And we want to tell you, show you, take you inside the book collaboration experience. So we're going to take you step by step. And today we're going to start with how to get clarity on your idea for the book before you get started. So Joanie, do you want to talk about why this is so important to collaborate?
Oh my gosh. Well, 3 heads, 2 heads, more than 1 head is better than 1 or none. And so none, get it? Ooh, okay.
I love it.
Anyhow, it's all about team. And when you can put the synergies and the thoughts and bounce things off of each other, that's the collaboration. And to be open to what you think and to what Catherine thinks and feels, and to throw out mine, that communication is so precious. And that's where it starts, is that we're willing to listen to each other. But at the same time, this is the part that I like the best, Elizabeth, is to be open to the spirit. And I believe in my heart of hearts, in my belief, I so believe this, that the Lord will give you the words to speak, the words to write when you're doing the book, as well as in our conversations, which is the collaboration.
Yes, yes. And I just want to emphasize this, these messages are spiritual, not religious. So Joanie has her Christian spiritual beliefs. I have mine, spiritual, not religious. And you can read my memoir, God's Answer is No, Lessons from a Spiritual Life, to hear my story, very similar to Joanie's. And whether you believe in the Lord or whatever your spiritual beliefs are, this message pertains to you. So the books are coming for everybody, and we're just coming from a perspective that works for us. So whether that's source, spirit, God, Jesus, angels, the divine, your inner voice, your higher self, whatever you describe as that higher power, we're all connected to it. And Joanie, the supernatural synergy that occurs when you work with 2 people, because it's like 2 light bulbs lighting up the room instead of 1.
Exactly. Oh, great analogy. I love it. I love it.
Yes, yes. So tell me, like when we were collaborating when I was coaching you to write, tell me how that energy just exploded for you as opposed to you sitting there at your computer by yourself.
Well, it's more fun. I'm into fun. I'm into sharing experiences and sharing life and sharing thoughts. So to me, it was just really fun hearing a coach give me suggestions on what to do and how to do it, and your game plan and your organization. And Joanie, you should start with an outline. You should start with thinking about what are the stories that you and Carol always told people. Such a simple question, but it really clarified in my mind, in my heart,
Uh-huh.
what I wanted to say, but more than what I wanted to say, who was I going to be speaking to? How can I make it clear to them
Yes.
so that they get it
Mhm.
without me just spilling my words in my mouth? It's like I had
Mhm.
to think about them who,
Mhm.
and I did, Elizabeth, you taught me to do that, and think about my friends and my sister and my brother and my LGBTQ friends and my friends that are struggling and my nun friends and just to think about them and what would they want to read? What would they
Yes.
want to hear?
Wow, Joanie, that's so relevant to our topic today, which is getting clarity on your message. Because you have to, and the second part of that, what you just said is your audience. You must know who you're talking to.
Yes.
You
Yes.
talk and you have to stop and really analyze. When I talk to my grandma, I talk a certain way. When I talk to my lover, I talk a certain way. When I talk to my work colleagues, I speak a different way. So
Right.
who's your audience? You have to talk to them. And you had that in your head, like you were having a conversation with them,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So you
And I
use,
visualize them
uh-huh, uh-huh. You visualize them, what, reading the book?
reading the book and hearing the story. I could visualize that they would be laughing and crying and
Yes.
feeling the emotions that I felt when I was writing it, and they were right there with me.
Yes, Joni, that is so cool. Does everybody hear that? The visualization. You begin with the end in mind, as Stephen Covey, Seven Habits of Highly Successful People author said. Begin with the end in mind. So see the end, just like if you're trying to lose 50 pounds, see yourself slim and fit and hold that image in your head as you do the work to flex those muscles and burn those calories and eat
I've
healthy.
lost 12 pounds in a year.
All right,
Woohoo! Speaking
Joni,
of
good for
losing
you.
weight.
Excellent, excellent. But you have to hold that vision in your mind of you saying no to the pizza and you saying yes to the salad with the grilled fish on top, right? Instead of the cake. So, yes,
Instead of
awesome,
the
awesome.
donut, Joni. Instead of the donut, Joni.
Ah! But for me, writing, I've written more than 40 books, and I know that when I begin, I envision the editor when I was writing for other publishing companies. I envisioned the editor calling me and say, Elizabeth, you did a phenomenal job. And every time that happened, because I set out with that intention to write the best book possible. So everybody, you need an intention. You need to set an intention to write that amazing book, but it starts with clarity on your topic. So Joanie, how do you think we gained with our collaboration clarity on the topic? Can you take us through that experience? It
You
started
mean
with just,
recently with you, Catherine, and I? Or you mean
yes,
back in the day with just you and I?
no, no. First, it was you and me.
Right?
You're like, let's do this. And then my sister, Catherine, who's brilliant, she joined our Zoom the other day to review the outline that we created. And the outline is, we'll talk about that next week because you got to have an
Okay.
outline. But Joni, me, you, and Catherine had this tremendous creative synergy and she provided insights. We got more clarity on our messaging. Can you talk about what that
How
felt
that
like for
happened?
you?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think part of it is um, all three of us are very positive people. And so we come in with a positive attitude about it.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I think that's the crunch of it, or the
Mhm.
crux of it, or however you say that word. Because
Uh-huh.
if you don't have the positivity, then you're not going to be open to what people say. And
Mhm.
Catherine, I am so impressed. She just asks the questions with if she hits that nail on the head. Well,
Uh-huh.
what are you really saying?
Mhm.
I,
Mhm.
I don't remember all the questions, but that's how she started. And then she was like, well, this is what I see. And she started describing what she could see, how the pages would flow and what the cover of the book might even look like. And
Mhm.
how, we need to take a look at not just the hows, but the whys and the
Mhm.
behind the scenes stuff to what
Mhm.
you and I were talking about. And
Yeah.
I just loved her input. I loved her input.
Yes, yes. It was wild. Like everybody watching. if you could have seen, like, Catherine just popped in and she's just like, oh, do this, just rolled off. And Joanie was
Mhm.
like, wow. And I was like, wow. So it's so cool because teamwork truly makes the dream work.
Right.
Yes, you can sit down and write a brilliant book by yourself, but in collaboration, there's this amazing magic that happens. I actually wrote a book with Billy D. Williams, the actor who's in Star Wars, Lando Calrissian, and he and I collaborated. And it started at a restaurant where we met, and then we got the book deal with St. Martin's Press, and he had lots of ideas. The book is set in Brazil, love story, multiracial, all about harmony. And I had the writing talent on the table. So we just like, and Twilight became a bestseller. That's what it's called, Twilight, by Elizabeth Ann Atkins and Billy D. Williams. So I love that. And I've been a ghostwriter for people for many years as well, where I take all their information and write it as if I'm them. And it sounds like they wrote it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a
Wow.
pretty magical experience,
That makes you
Joanie.
multi-personalities.
Well, I call myself a literary chameleon because I'm able
Oh,
to, and I think being mixed race, I'm able to speak from many voices and just
uh-huh.
channel that person. And it works every time. They're like, oh, it sounds like I wrote it. So
Yeah,
that's
you
just
definitely don't camouflage into a scene though. You're there. You're out there.
okay. Thanks, Joni. So,
And that reminds me of, and I've had the pleasure in the last 24, 48 hours of collaborating with maybe possible people that want to use you as a coach and Two
uh-huh,
Sisters Writing. And that has
uh-huh.
been really, really cool because that's another style of collaboration. When
Hmm.
you have had a really good experience, you want to tell people about it and maybe lean them toward a direction that would help them. And that
Uh-huh.
was really, really cool. It reminds
Yeah.
me of John Wooden. He was a basketball coach at UCLA, and he had
Uh-huh.
a famous slogan, win, W-I-N.
Uh-huh.
What's important now? What's important
Ooh.
now? And I think that's what happened at our collaboration the other day with you, Catherine, and myself. And
Uh-huh.
you are just hot to trot. Your fingers fly so fast over the keyboard as you're
Hmm.
always constantly taking notes. Because
Hmm.
when we are collaborating, there are so many things flying around, and you are on it, Elizabeth, in terms of typing stuff out so that we could go back and take a look and
Hmm.
review what we said.
Hmm.
Otherwise, we lose it into the spirit world. But I
Hmm.
think that's an important part of collaboration is that you're taking the notes and then we can go back and take a look at it and fine tune it.
Yes, 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 yes. Excellent. And also getting real crystal clear clarity on who we're writing for. So the first book is about LGBTQ people and allies
Yes.
and how to come out, how to live your life and love in your life as you truly desire authentically as a LGBTQ person. And so, what is the clear message that we need to share in that book? That's what Joanie and I have been discussing. And also, when we talk about allies, who are the allies?
Yeah.
The allies are the advocates, they're the
Yes.
family members, they're the friends, they're the teachers, counselors, um, possibly spiritual leaders if they're progressive enough. And so we had to define who are we talking to and what message are we sharing. And so
Right.
we've had some, intense heart pouring into the pages to
Oh,
explore
yeah.
what that is. Because
Yes.
so what you take away from today, everybody, if you're writing a book, the number one thing is to understand a very clear message that you're sharing. And secondly, who is your target audience? Joni and I could do a whole second talk about target audience. That's everything.
Mm-hmm.
Who are they?
Mm-hmm.
What do they want to hear? How do you talk to them? How do you resonate? What are their pain points? We're going to get into that another day, but right now, and also the messaging comes from us. Joanie has the whole story of her amazing 40-year phenomenal love story with Carol, who's in heaven now. So she tells the story of this, but the next version, the next book with me is about how to be this, how to have your own amazing love story. Am I right, Joanie?
Yes, and added to the how to, it's the how, the why, the where, the when. It's all of those things that come together. Because you
Mm-hmm.
can't just give somebody a list and say, well, this is what you do. Check, 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 check.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
what's behind all that. How
Mm-hmm.
does that happen in
Mm-hmm.
terms of and it's so individualistic, which I love because you can see right now, people watching, that Elizabeth and I are like very different in many, many ways, but we are also very similar in what our hearts speak.
Yes. Beautiful, Joanie. Beautiful. I love the way you express. So on top of the messaging, it's also this drive that both of us share to make the world a better place.
Absolutely.
And we do that by sharing our gifts, turning our pain into power, and messages that can help other people who are still in the struggle or still finding their way, seeking their peace, their love, their expression, their ability to come out courageously and live the way they want to live, just like you've done, despite a lot of challenges. First of all, you'd taken a vow of celibacy as a nun. Secondly, it was the 80s during the HIV/AIDS crisis when there was tremendous hostility, violence toward people, LGBTQ people. That phrase wasn't around back then, was it?
No.
Okay. Yeah. But that's all inclusive now. And so Joanie and Carol had such tremendous courage. So, and for me, my spiritual story, my quest of coming out as a spiritual person, talking about God from my own perspective, which is unique, even though my father was a Roman Catholic priest, that took a lot of courage because I expressed stuff in this book that I had never told anybody before. Nobody. About some of the wild, magical, spiritual awakening experiences I had. So Joanie and I both have this tremendous courage, but guess what? Our divine life mission to teach outweighs any fear of expressing ourselves.
Absolutely.
You agree?
I totally agree. Totally being honest, being true to yourself, myself, and being vulnerable and putting stuff in a book form that people can read and reread that we've never shared with anybody before. It's like a miracle. It's really, really touching. And I know when people share things from their heart with me face to face or in a letter or in a text, it's just really, really profound. Because you get to really know who they are. And I think you and I are both hoping that in these next 2 books that we'll be doing, that's what's going to happen. We're going to touch people's hearts because we're sharing deep stuff within us as well that will affect them. And your book did that. And my book did that. And together we're doing another 1 or 2.
Yes, I'm so grateful, Joanie. It's phenomenal. So the next book we're still plotting out, but we have a really good understanding of what it's going to be with the same clarity of messaging and who is the target audience. And so we're still brainstorming on how to proceed with that one. But Joanie, this is so exciting. I'm so like whenever Joanie and I talk, there's just literally an explosion. She has tons of energy. I have tons of energy, and it's just like,
right.
So look out because these books are going to be hot.
Hot. I love it. I'll try to hit that soprano notes too. I'm more of an alto, but that was pretty good. Hot.
Yeah. Yes. So very exciting, Joanie. I'm so grateful to you. I'm so grateful to Spirit for bringing us together. Daniel Perry Walk Up. Thank you. I'm so grateful to my sister, Catherine, for helping to, collaborate with us and make this happen. So everybody out there, stay tuned. We're back every Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern time here on YouTube, talking with you from the Two Sisters Writing and Publishing channel. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins with Joanie Lindenmeyer, talking about how to collaborate to write a book and what are all the steps you need to take to actually write a book. I'm a book coach. I'm a publisher. I'm an editor. Joanie is powerhouse in many, many ways. And together we're making some magic happen for you.
You betcha. That's it.
All right. Any closing remarks, Joanie?
Oh, how about have a beautiful, beautiful day. Let your light shine. Be the best you can be. Give people lots of hugs and kisses.
Yes, I love that. Love and peace. Hugs for everybody. Thank you. Yes. So everybody, you can contact Joanie on her Facebook page at Joanie Lindenmeyer, learn about the books. You can also go to twosisterswriting.com where we have an events page for Joanie. Click on the best-selling book on Amazon in the LGBTQ families category. So proud of you for that, Joanie.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're
That's pretty
welcome.
amazing.
Yes. And you can see her events page at twosisterswriting.com. So you can see all of her events. She's doing a whole lot of things in Oregon at the moment, but there'll be some other stuff in other states coming in the coming months. So you can also go to twosisterswriting.com. If you're interested in writing a book, contact us there. And I am really grateful that you watched today. Please share this with anybody who wants to write a book, because we're going to break it down over the coming weeks and months. So stay tuned. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, Two Sisters Writing and Publishing, and
I'm Joanie Lindenmeyer.
author
That's
of
good enough for me.
None Better. Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you, all of you, and we will see you next week. Happy
You got
writing
it.
and
All
have
right.
the
Big hugs.
best day. Yes.